All right. We are back. We're back. We're back. What's up, Anthony? What's up, Faith, Family, and Football? What is going on? Um, let me uh let me get this situated. Put the link in the chat and we shall get started. Chat. All right. Getting a little bit better at that. So, Cam Ward is finally here. All of the I guess I guess the insiders, I guess they're kind of off the hook now because they did predict it that he was a done deal. I was listening to You Heard yesterday. They had Flo and Ayo, so shout out to those guys over there doing some really good things. Pilo said, "Shad, please tell me Cam was going to solve all of our problems." I'm not gonna say that. Hopefully, whoever joins me, they can answer that question. But I'll give my thoughts about what it is. Today on today's show or broadcast, whatever we're gonna refer to it as, it's four questions that I want to go over. The four questions are this portal versus high school recruiting thing in terms of outlook of roster. What are the expectations of Cam Ward? What are the expectations of the Miami Hurricanes going into next year? And does the spring count this year, right? Because that's one of the things that for quite a few years now, individuals have said, well, the spring doesn't count. Hello, Ellen. The spring doesn't count. It doesn't matter what happens in spring. It doesn't matter. Players are not going to be here. But I think this spring actually is going to count. I think this spring right here is going to mean something because Cam Ward's going to be here. Jakari's going to be here. Judd's going to be here. What's up, Cuban? Um, Emery, from what I've saw, that he's out of the cast. So maybe he's going to be a full participant in the spring. So it's really going to be interesting. You know what I mean? So, but expectations of Cam Ward. What are my expectations for Cam Ward? To be honest with you, I'm not going to set the expectations too high because just from the dialogue that I've heard. Because let me just lay this out first, right? I still stand on this. I still feel like that the type of offense that we run, it does not encompass all of Cam Ward's skill set, right? I think Cam Ward is a guy that makes a lot of things happen, outside of off schedule. He makes a lot of off schedule things happen. And I think that our offense is an offense that is going to be on schedule. So I think that's going to be something interesting to look at. I know most people are looking at it from the aspect of, okay, well, he'll have a better O line. He'll have a better receiving core, which they can be debatable. Better supporting cast from a running back perspective. So that should mean that he should be better. But I think that we have a finite amount of time to, in my opinion, get him to be an on schedule quarterback because I think you had 2 years at Washington State and then you had a year at Incarnate Ward and then, whatever you were doing at the high school level in terms of maybe being a Superman type of guy. So trying to, from when spring starts until the first game of the season, to try to break some of those habits that he's developed over a 3 year period, a 4 year period, or even just entire career, I think that's going to be something that is going to be interesting to see whether or not Shannon Dawson will be able to maybe break some of those particular habits. I think it's going to be interesting. One of the concerns that I did have, prior to Cam Ward getting here, and this was just for any of the, quarterbacks that we may have picked up in the portal. You have two guys that are already on roster, and Emery and Jakari, who will be entering their second year in Shannon Dawson's offense. So they are ahead of you. So whoever comes in is going to have to be on a crash course to learn as quickly as possible. So Cam Ward is going to have to learn as quickly as possible. One of the things that um, Flo brought up on the show yesterday, and he didn't say this, but this was just kind of the mindset that I got when he was talking about, hey, the amount of time, the amount of negotiation that went. with Cam Ward going back and forth between the NFL and saying whether or not he's going to come here to Miami. What's up, Wayne? I think that was time with him not committing, around early signing period and committing now. Well, let me take that back. According to the sources, he did commit. He did say that he was coming. However, some things changed. Whatever things are, I don't know. But I think that particular time, that between Christmas and now, almost a month of time has gone by. That time right there could be time that he could have been inside the playbook. That's time that he could have been on campus, somewhat working. And when you just are out there just for 1 year, all of the time, all of that time means something, right? What's up? What's up, Wayne? What's up, Rob Roy? Um, so all of that stuff is gonna matter in the grand scheme of things. If we're talking about a guy that is supposed to step in the building, and I'm not gonna say be the savior because again, I don't want to put that type of pressure on a young man. If he comes out and he plays, solid, it is what it is, right? But I do think that little small amount of time, it could have meant something, right? Not saying it may not matter in the grand scheme, but I do think that you're already essentially going to be 2 years behind in this playbook, behind two guys that were here last year, and you're being given the starting job. You know what I mean? And Flo, he made some more interesting comments, right? In terms of how is the locker room maybe going to look at him in terms of, hey, you kind of strung this along, right? You may have some players on the team that may have an affinity for Jakari. You may have some players on the team that may have some affinity to Emory, and then you may have maybe the freshman receivers that are coming in. Maybe they have developed a relationship with Judd. You're coming from the outside, and you're coming in looking to be the man, be the leader, right? And like I said, I think Flo and guys like that, they may have a little bit. Well, obviously, they do have a lot more intel on those type of situations than I. But I wasn't looking at it from that vantage point. I was just looking at it from the vantage point more so of he's gonna have to get in here and gonna learn the playbook. You're behind, right? And it's gonna be interesting to see how you have to work to get Chakari and Emery developed because, and again, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, right? We're gonna knock on wood. This is a wood table. We're gonna knock on wood. The past 3 years we've dealt with the starting quarterback getting injured, right? Which means that unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time, we've had to have the backup quarterback. Well, not even just the last 3 years, the last four. Going back to 2020, we've had to deal with the starting quarterback getting hurt and the backup quarterback having to come in and play. Right, obviously, 2020, Derek King gets hurt in the bowl game. The coach has to come in. Then 2021, Derek King gets hurt again. TVD has to finish the season. Then 2022, TVD gets injured. Jake has to come in. Then Jake plays rough. Jakari comes in the game. And then we got this year, TVD gets hurt or was playing injured. And then obviously we saw Jakari and Emery again. So that's 4 years running where the starting quarterback has gone down with an injury and the backup quarterback has to come in and somewhat salvage the season if that's what we want to say it or play more than maybe what was expected. IMAX, what's good? What's good? What's good? So that's saying that Cam Ward will get nicked or anything like that. But again, we have had some unfortunate luck with the starting quarterback the past 4 years. So my question now is, okay, what you have to slow the playbook, well, you have to slow the learning down until Cam Ward can speed up. But at the same time, you have to continue on the trajectory of developing Jakari and Emery. So that's gonna be a great balancing act that Shannon Dawson is gonna have to do. Because unlike Jaden Daniels, um, Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel, guys like that, those guys had 2 years left, and then those guys were able to come in with the new offensive system, and so everyone was kind of on the same footing. So it was about who could learn it the fastest, who could execute it the best, and you go off to the races. Now, this is a very unique situation. Cam Ward is here for 1 year. You got two guys that are on the roster that have been here again, like I said, going into the second year. So it's just gonna be, you know what I mean, interesting to see how this unfolds. Wayne says, "Where does I'm not gonna call that man that?" But you know what, Wayne? It's the same thing for him. I how can I forget that man? The man can dunk. How can I forget that? Smiley. Tua denied his waiver. Poor kid. Hopefully things work out for him in the NFL draft. You know what, Smiley? Let me answer Wayne, then I'll address that. Wayne, he's in the same boat, right? Because the real competition is for the number two spot. So I've been, like I said, I haven't hitched my wagon to any of the quarterbacks because I don't want to get into that back and forth. I did that with N'Kosi Perry. I don't want to do that anymore because it clouds the bigger vision, and the bigger vision is what's the best for the team. And unfortunately, you kind of get in a situation where you're like, man, look, he's not performing, and then you're like, well, put my guy in. When at the end of the day, it's like these kids are going to be here for 3 or 4 years. I mean, young men, and then they're off to the races. But you back to what you said, Wayne. Um, I don't. I mean, he's in the same boat as Cam, even though he has another year. You're behind in the playbook, so you're gonna have to speed up. Now, what's gonna be interesting since the true battle is gonna be for the backup quarterback position. What we have to figure out is this, right? And like I said, I've been somewhat of an advocate for Jakari just because I felt like some people may have been a little too judgmental about him, right? But what I'm gonna say about that is, you don't have a red shirt year anymore. I don't know if they'll opt to redshirt Emory. I don't necessarily know, but Jakari has no more excuses in terms of. I'm not saying that he did, but if you can't hold off a guy and you have a year of experience over him, it is what it is. We have to just deal with it. But as for Mister the Slam Dunk Champion, he has to come in. He has to do the same thing, right? You're coming from a lower tier, school, and you just gotta do it. I don't know what his essential goals are. Like I said, I truly wish that it was a truly open competition, but I know it's not gonna be. And while I may not give Coach Cristobal a lot of praise and adulation, what I will give him credit for is that even though the wins are not there, I do see him for the second year in a row pushing the chips to the middle of the table. And we're going to get to expectations next. But I don't I don't necessarily know because one of the things that some of the fans had a problem with last year was like, hey, you just gave TVD the job, unabated. No one was there to challenge him. So you're kind of doing the same thing with Cam Ward. And like I said, it's just going to be interesting to see how Shannon Dawson can rein him in when a guy has essentially just been the best player all of the time. And it's kind of like, do you cater the offense to his strengths or do you try to cater him to your offense, right? So that's that. As for Smiley, this is what I'm gonna say about Tua's little brother. He's done some magnificent things in Maryland, right? I don't have his statistics right in front of me, but I think he's thrown for a lot of yards. Um, and my thing, I look at it like this. I know you want to go first round. I know most guys that play quarterback, if they want to put themselves in a position to play, go first round. But if just him getting drafted, if you're able to get drafted to a team that maybe has a veteran quarterback, you can sit and you can learn. You know what I mean? You can sit, you can learn, and you know if you work hard enough, maybe you can get the job. It's only 32 teams, right? And it's only 32 starting quarterbacks. So a lot of teams need quarterbacks, and then some teams are going to have to make some decisions moving forward about transitioning away from some of their veteran quarterbacks. So um, I'm with you, Smiley. Hopefully things do work out for them. I think they will. Um, I'm not so. But again, I'm not in the situation. I'm just looking at it from a player that hasn't played Division 1 football. So I can't say that my mindset is the same. My mindset is like this: like, hey, look, if I just can get drafted, if I can go somewhere, I can sit behind someone and develop or whatever like that. Because again, you gotta look at the scrutiny that your older brother is taking in Miami. You know what I mean? Looking around at his peers, you come out with Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, and everyone at Burrow has taken his team to the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert has the talent, but they can't get over the hump. But you were looked at like, hey, we shouldn't have taken you. So I wouldn't just be ready to just ready to just toss myself into that scrutiny right now. You know what I mean? Faye said, I dig where you're coming from, but my memory serves me correct. Cam Ward is coming from an air raid system from Washington State, so I don't know if he'll be that behind in terms of learning. Well, Faye, this is what I'm saying. I think what Washington State did was a true air raid, right? I think that's what they did. I don't think what we ran last year was an air raid. I think it was more so of one of these hybrid or I think it was more power. It was more pro style, except for out of the shotgun, right? So I think the terminology is going to be different. I think the reads are going to be a little bit different. Um, Obviously, we had three receivers that went over 500 yards. Washington had three receivers go over 800 yards. You see what I'm saying? And I think that, what's up, QB? I think that with, again, Xavier Restrepo being a point man in this passing attack, I think it's going to be something that Cam Ward is going to have to get, used to. You know what I mean? With that being maybe the first read. And I think that with Coach Cristobal being the head coach that he is, in terms of not wanting to have a quarterback maybe turn the ball over as much, I think that that's also going to be something else. Because again, like I said, Cam Ward is used to going off script. Cam Ward is used to being the Superman. And a lot of fans are looking at it like, well, he doesn't have to be that here. Well, no, he doesn't, but we don't know that yet, right? We're just assuming based on what we saw last year that, hey, you're not going to have to do this year. You don't necessarily know. And it's kind of like the argument that people have about a guy that's mobile, and then you go to the NFL and they want to try to make you into a pocket passer when your instinct is kind of like, hey, look, I may have to try to improvise a little bit. So, like I said, there's just going to be a lot of stuff that Shannon Dawson and his staff is going to have to try to mold Cam Ward into in a short period of time. And I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I will say this. I think the offense may look a little bit more explosive this year just because Cam Ward is here. But again, it's just going to come down to, are you going to cater the offense to him, or are you going to cater him to the offense? Which those are two different things. So Cam is going to be really beaming. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'll eventually answer what my expectations are, but I want you to get through these questions. Smiley said, I'm just upset how he was used, but I am a JB11 fan. It's just reminding me of how they used JB Red Shirt 2 years ago. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's the same, like you said, it's the same way with JB. The thing of it is that, like I said, I think the difference to me is, like I said, Talea, I believe is the pronunciation of his name. He had a prolific career in Maryland. You know what I mean? I think it was more so the fact that you're at Maryland. You know what I mean? And um, I can't think of the last Maryland quarterback that I remember. I know they've had one in the past, but I think that was more so of it. You know what I mean? More so just it was just you're just at Maryland. You know what I mean? Um, this is a deep quarterback draft, and I don't necessarily know. I think when you look at it, like I think Dylan Gabriel is kind of in the same boat as Cam Ward. You're going to a new school, and this kind of applies to to Leia as well. You're going to a new school in hopes of maybe garnering a higher profile, and it may or it may not work. You know what I mean? With this NIL situation, with the way that the NFL contracts are structured, these guys are going to make more money, you know, returning back to college than they would if they get drafted later. Even though I feel like you still need some additional development once you make it to the NFL. You know what I mean? So Jakari took down his running back post on IG. Is he going to? Oh, I don't know, IMAX. I don't know. I Again, it depends on who you listen to. You know what I mean? Like I say, when I make the jokes about the insiders, I'm go ahead and say it. I'm not making jokes about. I'm not including Miami Flow, nor am I including Canesville in those jokes because those are two outlets that I look at. I trust. I understand that stuff does change. I'm mainly talking about the other fly by night operations. You know what I mean? Um, but to answer that question, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think is interesting, and this is one of those conversations. What's up, Nassau? This is one of those conversations that I get into with people all the time because what is you know what? Let me just answer this question, then I'll move on to my next the other thing I want to talk about. My expectations for Cam Ward this year are just to be an efficient quarterback, right? And whether or not we get to 10 wins, I don't know, right? Because I don't know what the roster is going to look like. We're missing a lot of experience going into next year at some key positions. You know what I mean? And so I just want to be efficient. You know what I mean? Now, whether or not I know some people are looking, hey, first team all ACC, maybe even a stretch of the All American, maybe make a run for a Heisman. I don't, I'm not going to put out a lot of things can change, a lot of things can happen. You know what I mean? So, but I just want expectations just for them to be efficient. Now to address this again, IMAX. Another discussion that I see people having, right, and this is based on the Florida State thing, right? Florida State is picking up a lot of Alabama's backup players, and this particular transfer class that they have is not as strong as the ones that they've picked up the last 2 years. And so the debate is about building a program the right way and having an outlook of what your roster is going to look like because you're bringing in high school guys, right? And so my pushback has always been, well, bro, with the way that the portal is, guys are leaving after their freshman and sophomore seasons. So you don't know what your roster is going to look like. So in reality, even if you go and get a guy that only has a year of eligibility left and he's developed and he has gone through the rigors of college, that's the same thing as a freshman who hasn't played that says, you know what, hey, I don't like this situation anymore. I don't like the way the coaches are being on me, and then y'all haven't given me what I expected y'all to give me. I'm leaving. It's the same thing, right? So I was having this discussion yesterday with someone, right? And so I picked out 5 teams and then I added Miami to that list, right? So the 5 teams I picked out are OSU, LSU, Texas, UGA, and Bama. And so what I did was I looked at the amount of guys that they have transferred out of the program, right? Over the past 3 years, right? So in the past 3 years, and this is not including the guys that are leaving for Alabama this particular year, or the year upcoming, Alabama has had 54 guys leave, just transfer portal, not including the draft, just transfer portal guys, 54. Georgia has had 43. Texas has had 58. LSU has had 52. Ohio State has had 34. And then us, Miami, we've had 50, right? So that's the amount of guys that we have lost in the transfer portal. And so what I'm trying to hammer home is that, look, no one is no one is above this, right? You may look at a person and say, hey, okay, well, we're gonna predict him to be this in the next 2 to 3 years or whatever. That's not guaranteed. So going back to one of the things that I'm giving Coach Chris about a check mark about is that, hey, look, you gotta strike while the iron is hot. You gotta strike while the iron is hot. If you know that you can get you some key contributors in the transfer portal to go ahead and help make this remodel, not calling a rebuild. Shout out to Cuban and South Coast to make this remodel a little bit quicker. Go ahead and do it because it's no guarantee that these guys are going to be here. I don't think again, like I said, you're losing 50 plus guys. And this is not including guys that just run out of eligibility and graduate. And this is not even including the guys that leave for the draft. So based on these particular numbers, you could probably add about 20 players apiece on average to these numbers. And we're talking about 70 to 75 plus players that have left these particular programs over a 3 year period. So, and the thing about it is UGA and Bama, who were teams that initially like, hey, they only gonna take one player in the portal. Their numbers are starting to creep up. I think Georgia has about 6 or 7 guys that they've picked up in the portal, and obviously you got a second portal window in the spring. So my long term thing was like, look, I feel like all teams are gonna end up taking maybe between 12 and 15 guys in the portal per year. Um, and I think this is what it's gonna be it until they put some type of legislation in. K Run. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. I saw it. I saw it. That's I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm a football fan, so I mean, I don't, I don't rake, I don't joke on Florida State as hard as some of the other K fans do because, like I said, I'm just a fan of football. You know what I mean? And I like good players, whether you're at Miami, whether you're at Texas, whether you're at Oregon, wherever. I just, so my only concern is beating them, on Saturdays. You know what I mean? And then obviously, if you recruit, beat them. And another thing, that was a quote that Coach Cristobal said. It's like, hey, sometimes coming in second place in recruitment nowadays is not that bad because a player could go somewhere 1 year and they say, okay, I don't like it, and then go back and then come back over here. And I think the same thing can apply to us. Maybe a player was able to commit to Miami, come here for a year, and it's like, that ain't what I think it is. All right, I'm gonna leave. You know what I mean? QB Brashard Smith at SMU. QB, and you've been on Twitter, which I'm sure all y'all may have had a Twitter account. I saw some people. He's hey Cuban, hey, you might be right. I may not be. Sometimes I question myself. Sometimes I say, man, I may not be as passionate as some of y'all are. This is my favorite team, but I may not be as passionate as some of y'all are. Because, like I say, I like the NFL. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not gonna say, all right, this player's trash or whatever like this. And then in April, my Raiders may draft him, and then I'm like, well, dang, I got to sit here and say something good about him. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But yeah, QB and QB, y'all saw it. Like people are talking wild about Brashard now. It's like, why? I mean, what are you garnering from that? I saw some people was like, oh, that's the best he can do. It's like, bruh, the man went to another ACC team. It's not like they in the American Athletic Conference anymore. They're going to the ACC. So now I'm not gonna sit up here and paint this grand, Picasso painting to say that, Brashard Smith is gonna be one of the most explosive players in all of college football next year just because he's hooking back up with Red Lashley. I'm not gonna say that, but he may actually, you know, he may actually blossom a little bit. I don't know because I know some people were talking about, hey, Keyshawn Smith went over there, Brinson went over there. They didn't do much, and my thing is this is like it's kind of like what QB was saying, on one of my other lives, and he said on Twitter. It's like people, if a player has not shown you something in 2 years, just push them to the wayside. I'm not saying that Romello Brinson and Keyshawn Smith may sprout this particular year, or Brashard may sprout, but again, you got 5 years to play for. So just because you haven't maybe done as much in your first 2 seasons, or maybe even your first 3 seasons, it doesn't mean that you're gonna leave collegiate football on a bad note. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for all the guys, right? You got the opportunity to get a free education, and if you're good enough, you may have a chance to get drafted. in the draft. So that's the way I look at it, right? Um, other question, expectations. Well, you know what? Let me answer this one first. Does the spring count this year? Some people got 5 years. Well, you're right, QB. You know, with medical red shirt, regular red shirt. So, I guess you can be in college for 6 years to play four. You know what I mean? So, in regular before the COVID, um, whatever you want to call it. So, there's a spring count this year, right? Now, for multiple years, I've heard people say, "Oh man, the spring doesn't count. The spring doesn't count. It doesn't mean anything." And it was funny to me because it was like, okay, well, if the spring doesn't count, why were y'all so hard on Jakari at Canes Fest? If the spring doesn't count, why were y'all so hard on Jakari at Canes Fest if the spring doesn't count? And then all of a sudden, I guess everybody started saying this. Oh, that was different. You know, I guess I guess that was different. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I think yes, this is going to be a very pivotal spring. I think this is going to be a very important spring. I'm interested to see where they will actually host the spring game this particular year because I think a lot of people are going to want to see this because I don't think maybe I don't even think he was eligible to. No, 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 no. If you think about it, we've never had a spring where we had a quarterback room that had this much experience. If the team doesn't look old in spring, it don't count. You mean good? Oh, doesn't look good. Oh, it's gonna count to me. It's gonna count to me. So what's the truth on Brashard? So much out there was it grace out the field, coaching staff. I don't know, Max. Like I said, I'm not an insider. I'm not gonna pretend to be an insider. Do you have the dates for the spring game? No, I don't have the dates. But I'm assuming if it's lockstep and barrel with the last two, I think it'd probably be around because my birthday is like April 19th, so I think it'd probably be the week of that. I don't know if it's gonna be on a Friday or a Saturday, but I think it was a Friday last year, so I don't really know. But I would figure it'd be the second or third week in April, to be honest. But yeah, Ellen. But now it's gonna count to me because look, you got Cam Ward who has been a P5 starter for the past 2 years, and then had started at Incarnate Ward, and then you got Poffenberger. I'm just gonna call him my quarterback dunks. My quarterback dunks. He's been a starter, and you have Jakari and Emery who collectively have what 5 games of starting experience collectively. Um, so and I just saw IG with Cristobal in Chicago. Yeah, I saw that too. Well, not on IG, but I saw people posting it because they were making fun of the helicopter that Mario has versus the helicopter that Mike Norvell had out recruiting. So yeah, so that was funny. I wonder if insiders would say he's soft. Would say who soft? Who you talking about, QB? Say who soft? But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting because again, think about this, right? The spring game is gonna be vanilla, right? So let's go ahead and get that out there. Let's go ahead and get all of the excuses out the way. Okay, it's gonna be vanilla. It's gonna be vanilla for everybody, right? But we got two quarterbacks that have played and started for multiple years, and then we got Jakari and Emery. So and then Judd, I guess Judd to get it in where he fit in, right? So the spring game should look good. We should see some downfield throws. We should see some excitement. So this should be a very interesting spring game because even if it's vanilla and the quarterbacks are not going to be live, it still should look like something. It still should look like you have a quarterback that has started at the P5 level for the past 2 years, and it should look good. So this should be a lot to take away from the spring game in terms of maybe quarterback, right? Maybe not so much offense, maybe not so much defense, but the spring game to me is going to go a long way because again, the expectations of Cam Ward, that's when those expectations are going to start. because I already know someone's gonna say, "Oh, it was just vanilla." Okay, yeah, it's gonna be vanilla, but even in a vanilla set, he should look like the best quarterback on roster. It should be without question, right? Because you have given him that particular title. And kind of going back to what what Flo was saying on You Heard, you have to hurry up and get these relationships established. You have to hurry up and get in there, and everyone has to know, hey, look, I'm Cam Ward, I'm QB1, I'm the leader. I'm gonna show it through my actions. I'm gonna show it through my the way that I speak to everyone, just the way that I carry myself. I'm gonna show myself as that because again, Flo brought up another interesting, caveat. Are you coming in here maybe just to maybe build your draft stock? If the year is not going the way that you feel like it should go, are you going to finish it? Are you going to, or maybe you're going to say, my ankle, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily know, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's a lot of interesting stuff. Like I said, the man got 1 year left, and based on what the report that I read, it was like trucking chubby. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Like I said, man, if anybody wants to jump in, man, like I said, I'm gonna put the link back in the chat again, man. Like I said, if anybody wanna come on, it's cool. I don't have a problem talking to myself, but I understand I like to get different people's um viewpoints on a lot of this stuff. But, so it's gonna be interesting to see, how does it look? When you come in early and you got to look a certain way. You know what I mean? So if things are not going the way that you want them to go, how are things gonna go out? All right, we got trucking with Chubby in here, so we're gonna add brother to the stage. All
What's
right,
up, man?
what is up? What is up? What is up? What is
Ain't,
up, brother? What's
ain't
up?
nothing, man. Just came in here to kick it with you for a minute, shy. Show some support, some love. That's all.
Okay, okay. Like I said, what's up? It's my first time interacting with you. I know I've seen you on Coach
Yeah,
Hayes' show a few times, so it's
that's
good
for
that you
sure.
tapped in.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to, man. Try to keep the community, together, man. Try to support all of us. We all out here grinding.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You can always pick up something from, listening to someone else. So yeah.
That's a
So
fact. That's a fact. So I see we talking about Cameron Ward. I did a little video on him just recently talking about Cameron Ward. So what's your question for today?
oh nah, my question basically what are the expectations for him and what are the expectations for Miami since he's here? And
Oh,
how do we assess his performance, in the spring? Do we look at it as okay, this is what he is, or do we kind of give him a flyer and say, okay, well, he's only been on campus a few months. Give him the summer and the fall to kind of get the bugs out. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it from that particular vantage point.
well, I mean, he comes in as a veteran. So to me, this is one of those situations where it was like he was about to go to the NFL. So really, like for y'all as Canes fans, it's like, look, he got to come in, he got to produce. Let's just be honest about that. You know what I mean? He got to come in and produce. Um, as far as y'all having patience with him, I don't think that it's fair for y'all not to have patience, as Canes fans, if you don't, because like you said, he was on his way to the NFL. He has 1 year eligibility left. It's win or go for him this year. He has to get it done this year. However, his production level was high. His production level was very high, even with being sacked, like the second most in the Pac-12. He was the second, behind Shador. He got sacked 38 times. However, y'all only let up like 16 sacks all season long. So if y'all can give him them 16 sacks, that's about another 500 yards on his books. You know what I'm saying? He can sling that rock. That's one thing. And he can move. He's mobile. I know they got like a what is it, like an air raid type offense up there at Washington State. You know what I mean? They do sling the ball around a lot, but y'all do got some good backs. Y'all got a defense, a decent O line over there because I seen who y'all picked up, Zach Carpenter. I really like that pickup on the offensive line, the interior, him coming from Indiana. And look, it's just when to go home right now, and I understand that. However, I do think that he can give y'all like another good 2 wins off y'all schedule, like a 9-10 win season. And look though, but that's not bad. A 9-10 win season for y'all not bad, because that can get y'all in the ACC championship game. And if y'all win the ACC championship game, you can't leave y'all out of the college football playoff. If y'all win the championship, I do see y'all doing that. And but yeah, I think it's fair though, Shad. I think it's fair for y'all to have those expectations, to say like, look, man, he got to come in, he got to produce. I think that's fair for being a Canes fan, honestly, seeing how he produced up at Washington.
Okay. Yeah, my dog Cuban, he wanted to know who did are you just a fan of football or do you have a specific team that you like?
Who do I root for? In
Yeah.
college football, man, it's hard to say, man. Like I love college football, but you see, I'm a Steelers fan. Y'all see Steeler McBain over there, you know what I'm saying? I know
Yeah.
you see him in the corner over there, but in college,
Yeah.
man, I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I love college football, man. I do,
Okay.
man. I love everything about it, man.
Okay.
Man,
Okay. Yeah, we ain't gonna hold your feet to the fire about that.
yeah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, like my guy Wayne says, expect 10 wins at least in contention for the ACC championship game. Um, me personally, like I said, well, I haven't said. Let me take that back. I think that we have some experience that we have to replace. We're losing two safeties that have played for the majority of the past 3 years. We're losing a defensive tackle that has played for the majority of the past 3 years. We're losing probably our most instinctual, I'm not gonna say our best, but we're probably losing our best, most instinctual linebacker, and Corey Flagg, who was a guy that was the probably the most cerebral player on the defensive side of the ball. He and Cam, right? So you're losing that. Zach Carpenter, I've had this discussion before. I don't know if he's on the same level as Matt Lee. Javion Cohen, I think that's going to be an interesting thing to replace. And then I think the development of Francis Mary Noah going into his sophomore year, right? I know we didn't surrender that many sacks this particular year, but we're essentially going to be replacing um, two guys that we brought in, two mercenaries, I'll say. We're replacing two mercenaries along the offensive line. So I don't necessarily know if we have replaced those two guys just yet.
Mhm.
So that's going to be interesting to see. But again, Cam Ward has made plays, with his legs. So maybe they can kind of somewhat mitigate that. But again, he does have the situation about the fumbles or whatever. But I'm not here to maybe point out his misfortunes. Well, not
Mhm.
misfortunes, but some of the negatives on him. I'm just trying to focus on the positives. So, but I do think that it'll be interesting. So I'm kind of in the 8 to 9 win thing myself, and that
Mhm.
kind of goes along with what you just said about him getting us 2 more wins. And I'm kind of in that. I'm kind of in that particular thought process, just because we have to replace so much experience from an intellectual standpoint that guys have to speed up, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Right. Right. I mean, look, well, I can't tell you that Zach Carpenter, he came from the Big 12. They even though it was for Indiana and Indiana was one of the sorriest teams out there, Zach Carpenter is a good interior offensive line. If you ask me, he carried Khalil Benson a lot. He carried him a lot. If you watch his film, he's a great run blocker, pass blocking. He got violent hands. So I think y'all I don't know how, I haven't honestly seen y'all interior guy that he's replacing. So I'm not going to speak on that too much. I'm just speaking on Zach Carpenter. I think he's good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if who he's replacing or how good of a replacement he'll be, but I could tell you that Zach Carpenter is a good interior offensive lineman. Now, when you talking about the other guys replacing them, I think the portal can help y'all with that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like managing, it's more of managing the spot than just like more than, you know what I mean? Like y'all can manage it in the portal. I don't think you'll get the same guys or you know what I mean, but you can manage that particular position out of the portal. And look, man, y'all had the best run defense in the ACC. I'm sure you know that. Y'all had the best run defense in the ACC. Y'all had the number 6 defense in the ACC last year. Um, Shoot, and points, I think y'all was in third in the ACC in total points scored on offense, and y'all started 3 different quarterbacks last year too, right? Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Y'all had 3 different quarterbacks. We know Cameron Hayward. You know he outperformed all 3 of them statistically. You do know we know that too.
yeah,
But y'all team was really good, man. Like, y'all dropped some games that I don't think y'all should have dropped last year, but y'all was really, really good. And only points average per game, y'all was in third in the ACC, only behind like Florida State and like I want was it Florida State and Louisville, I want to say it was.
yeah.
You
I
know what
think,
I mean?
yeah, yeah,
But y'all had the second passing offense with 3 different quarterbacks with no stability there going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all got a lot of upside going into this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of upside. So when you talking about, replacing the guys that y'all replace, like I said, you probably never get them same players because there's only one of those people. But I believe that y'all can manage the position out of the portal and be able to repeat some of what y'all did last year. And with his mobility, yes, and some of them fumbles came a lot from pressure, and you know what I mean. Being guy right on his back, being the most sacked quarterback, somebody right on his back soon as he running the ball or something like that too. You know what I mean. So, but yeah, man, I think y'all got a great upside, man. Look, I evaluated the situation, him coming here, man, and I honestly believe that y'all upside is good, man. 8, 9 wins. That sound about fair, but I gave it a 9, 10, 9, 10 win because y'all was what 6-6 in the Pinstripe Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all made the Pinstripe Bowl, but so I give them good about 4 more games on there for sure.
yeah. Let me see. Wayne excellent. Wayne, I was at the same number, about 8 to 9, because I do think that for the majority of the season, the defense carried us, kept us in a lot of games, with the turnovers that we had. And I think that we're going to be the opposite this year. I think the offense is going to have to kind of carry the defense a little this year just because of the, lack of experience that we do have. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, you're right. And I think more so this year, I think we're going to have to be a little bit more offensive driven. I don't have as many questions along the offense with the offense as I do with the defense because we have to figure out what are we going to do in terms of, interior replacing a guy in Leonard Taylor who has all the potential in the world when he's on. He's one of the best in college football. So replacing him, replacing a Corey Flagg with a guy that's more athletic, but also has his instincts at the same time, that's going to be interesting to see. We have a guy that we got in the portal in Kiko Marinoa who played very well, and
Mhm.
towards the back end, I think and that's the other thing, right? Just how we manage the reps. Bringing up Kiko Marinoa. Kiko Marinoa played the absolute. I think he may have played the third most snaps, or maybe the second most snaps on our entire defense last year,
Yeah.
and that started to take a that began to take a toll on him because as the season winded down, his production began to dwindle some as well. So that's another thing that a question I have about the defense. How are we going to, you know, do with the rotations because in many instances we were in games where things were nip and tuck and we couldn't allow for a possession or two to get away from us
Mhm.
because we're trying to get some young guys in. So
Mhm.
that's why, like I said, I have more questions about the defense than I do have on the offense in that particular regard. Uh,
Right.
Wayne, so Cam Ward's a non-factor. No, Wayne, I'm not saying Cam is not a non-factor. What I'm saying is I think that the strength of our team last year was the defense, and
Mhm.
we've taken some big hits on the
Abs-
defensive side of the ball. So we're gonna have to try to see what can a Cam Ward do offensively. Now, if James, Cam, and LT were coming back this particular year, even with Corey Flagg leaving, then I would say, okay, we're looking at 11 or 12 wins because that experience is going to mean something. We're kind of equally yoked on both sides. But what we have now is kind of an imbalance. And I think we'll actually be imbalanced. We'll actually have the balance that we need in 2025, right? I kind of, I'm
Mhm.
pessimistic, but I try to be somewhat as realistic as I can. And so I think just from the timelines of everything matching up, I think 2025 is the year where we really should just be looking to say, okay, we got the experience on defense, we got the experience on offense, right? So let's hop aboard. Now we
Right.
could luck into 10, maybe 11 wins, just to, just the way the ball flows. You know what I mean? Like you said, we were in some close games where if one or two things may have went our way, that turns into a W. Most
Mhm.
notably the Georgia Tech game.
Mhm.
Maybe if we would have scored a touchdown on NC State, put more pressure on them, that could have been a win, right?
Mhm.
We don't give up the third quarter against UNC. It's just so many different variables and things like that happen in the season, right? So I
Mhm.
don't think we're just at the talent point right now where we can just walk in and say, hey, look, there goes 11, 12 wins right there just
Right.
because we are that. Um, but yeah, but like I said, I don't want to talk too much. Like I said, I
Look,
like the
you
NFL.
killed it. You
Yeah,
killed it. Like I get it, man. I get the worries about your defense and where the team going to be because of y'all, because of the losses on defense. Because especially, because like you said, your defense overcompensated for your offense last year. You know what I mean? So I understand why you say that. And that's a very fair take to say that because you losing the key pieces on defense. And if your offense was rolling a little bit better last year, y'all could have beat a couple of teams. I mean, look, y'all was hanging around Florida State for a while. You know what I mean? If y'all offense would have put up some pressure on them, maybe we don't know what may have happened. That game. Because y'all hang around, they let y'all hang around that game too. I watch ball all over. So
yeah,
but
yeah.
I get your points though, Shy, man. And look, man, I appreciate you letting me come through and kick it with you here for a little bit, man, and all that. Like, I enjoyed it, man. Hopefully
Okay,
I come through anytime you need me to, bro.
okay,
Anytime, man.
okay. Now, when did you say you're gonna be live again? I mean, when do you do lives?
I do
I
my
think.
lives every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, okay, okay. Eastern Standard, so that'll be 5 p.m. for me. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yep.
I got you.
Every Saturday I'm live, man. And then, I drop videos throughout the week, you know what I'm saying? So you
Okay.
get the cachet going and all that. But hey man, hey, thank you, bro, for letting me come through and
Hey,
kick.
you gotta leave right now.
Oh no, I ain't gotta leave. I'm kicking it.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I know. Like I said, I know it's a Kane. I know it's a Kane thing, but
Oh, all right.
you like I say, you're still a fan. I just want to ask you this one question. Now, like I said, I like the Raiders or whatever, so we kind of got a little history.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I have a buddy of mine, diehard Steeler fan, right? And so obviously, you know what the hot question is. I don't
Mm.
have to ask you the question. You already know what the question is. But is it time to move on?
You know what, man? Um, I'm guilty of even saying it myself that maybe it's time to move on from Mike Tomlin. But I tell you what, man, honestly, we a mediocre football team, man. If Mike Tomlin ain't there, man, we don't even get in the wild card. Our defense, you know what I mean? Our defense is what carry our team. Our defense is overcompensating for our offense. Is why, you know what I mean, they keep getting scored on. They let big plays up because they on the field the whole damn game. You know what I mean? Our offense 3 and out. And I'm just being realistic here. We should have been went and replaced Big Ben when he was there, but before he left, we should have been replaced him. We missed on that a few times. I never was a fan of Kenny Pickett. I'll say it here and I'll say it now. I never was a fan of him. I wanted to go Malik Willis, but look when he on the bench right now in Tennessee. So, I really can't um complain with that. You know, but you know what? I'm not even that mad. We took a L because Mason Rudolph been there for years and he still ain't never even started. You know what I'm saying? That's why he didn't start because he throw interceptions in the goal right there on the goal line. But um Mike Tomlin though, man, maybe it's time to change things up a little bit there. Maybe, but who comes and replace him though? Because we don't switch coaches up every year. And that's what makes our team good. We stick it out with our coaches. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's why they get that continuity around because we stick it out with our coaches. You know what I'm saying? And speaking on that a little bit, I think that's a little bit of a problem. I think with the Canes a little bit is the continuity of the coaches sticking around the staff. You know what I mean? It's too much. It's moving around, and even with all that moving around in the staff, y'all still being able to break even and go 6-6, I think is all right. But we ain't talking about my Canes. We talking about my Steelers, man. But I don't think me. I'm not for moving on from Mike Tomlin. I think we need to bring in the offensive coordinator guru and get a quarterback. That's me, man. Because if Mike Tomlin's not there, we're not even a wild card team realistically. Like look at my team, man. Can you honestly look at my Steelers and tell me the Steelers is a playoff Super Bowl type team? Could you say that? Could you honestly say that from
I
just
probably
looking at them on the outside? I mean, no,
no, I'm like I said, I'm unbiased, right? Raider fan,
right.
I'm biased. I'm gonna tell you exactly what. I'm glad you asked me that question. I'm gonna tell you exactly what my buddy said today. Where he asked me, he said, if you go back the past 6-7 years, what teams are you thinking about in terms of playoff football? And so I just now I said, okay, you think about the 49ers, you think about the Rams, Buccaneers, and I named about 16. He said, now stop. Why haven't you said the Steelers yet? I said,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't look at you as a playoff team, you know what I mean? But like I said, my team ain't a playoff team, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
but yeah. But yeah, my dog Cuban wanted me to ask you that right there.
Ash trucking about Tua Tagovailoa. Is that how you say his last name? I think I
I
got close to
I don't know. I'm just happy I can pronounce Mary Noah right. Right?
it.
So I'm not even gonna get into pronouncing his last name. We just call him Tua.
Man, Tua, man, like he seemed timid, man. He seemed a little timid. I ain't gonna lie. From the outsider looking in, he seemed timid that game. Was it just me? Was it just me? But he was running the way he was running around the ball, the way he was running around, not wanting to get hit and avoiding it and all that. You know what I mean? Like he could have, I believe he could have powered and got that first down. You know what I'm saying? But it was just something in him, like he didn't really want to go for it or something. But moving on, but Tua is a great quarterback, man. But I think he just took too many hits to the point where he got scared in the NFL. You know what I mean? Or something, you know what I'm saying? Something a little off. And that's understandable. But Tua, I like Tua, man. I do. I like Tua. I think he's nice, but I wouldn't want him as my quarterback though. So I don't know how y'all feel down there about
Oh,
Tua.
I'm not a Dolphin fan. I'm a Raiders fan. So
Oh, okay.
he
So
just he just he
I
just
don't
threw
know,
that in the
man.
chat. You know what
He
I mean?
choked. It looked like he choked at me. What you think, Shad? It looked like
I didn't watch the game. I wasn't going to get wasn't the yeah because the game was on Peacock. I wasn't
yeah,
by the Peacock.
like, but he
But
got
but
he
no,
had this one run, right, shot. He had this one run shot. It was like a couple of yards ago. I mean, I think he could have got it too, man. And he looked timid, man. Like he ain't want to smoke, man. I mean, ask him, man. Ask him. What'd he say? What'd he
no
say?
no Ellen said he's a great QB, but you don't want
Nah,
him.
nah,
Hey, no, but you know
nah.
what?
I
This
don't want him though, Ellen, because I mean he good, but I mean he choked, man, when it counted the most to me, man, and I can't rock with that, man. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he need a great offensive line, I guess, or he just need to just hang it up. Cause did y'all see that play or not? He
I
said trucking low key shady. She said
I
truck got shady.
heard I heard
Leave me low, Ella. Leave me low.
I think I heard about the play, but to get back to the question, I'm gonna tell you what it is, right? Tua is the type of person that most teams say you don't draft him because of the injury history, right? At Alabama, he was hurt, the hip and all that stuff, the ankle, all that stuff. He was hurt,
Yeah.
so with the hits, I, I'm not gonna say he's there yet, but this very well could end up being a situation. But I think he has a better supporting cast. This very
Mm-hmm.
well could end up being a situation like David Carr, where you just take so many hits and
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
looks painful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Cuban, yeah, I think Cuban want, yeah, Cuban asked, would you give him an extension or would you trade him?
Ooh, trade,
You trade him. I mean,
trade,
what do you get? I mean, well, what do you trade him for?
Tua.
I mean,
I mean,
I mean, okay, what are you?
his
Okay, how about this?
production alone,
What are
his
you looking for in return? How about that? I'm gonna ask you that. and then we
They
can kind
got
of assess what.
they gotta get you want to try to trade him for some draft stock, right? Because I mean, because you want a quarterback. You need a quarterback in Miami. If you're gonna let Tua go, then you're gonna need a replacement. I'm not sure who's your backup down in Miami. I don't who y'all backup down at Miami. Y'all tell me who y'all backups is.
I don't know. I think it was wasn't it Skylar Moore or something like that. 1 year, Teddy Bridgewater's in Detroit. I don't know who the backup quarterback is, so I don't. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was asking the chat because
No,
like
I'm just,
yeah.
they may be a little bit slow to the thing. Hey, they may have to Google who the backup is.
He said they back.
Yeah,
Okay,
Skylar. Okay, he
Mike
said,
White and Skylar Thompson.
yeah,
Oh, hey,
yeah.
Mike White came in balling for the Jets, didn't he? He came in balling for the Jets when Zach Wilson went out for them couple of games. There
Okay,
was even there was a little bit of rumors floating around the NFL saying that Mike White was way better than him. He should have been starting off that's where they got Mike White from, was from the Jets. Man, he might not even be bad. Shoot, if you because yeah, man, I don't know. Trade him, get some draft stock. Roll with Mike White for a bridge quarterback for a couple of seasons. See where that gets
but you
y'all.
know
Unless
what?
you're now, and then you know what I'm saying, and build up on that. You know, get some more pieces. Get another weapon or another receiver. I thought Jalen Waddell was gonna show up a lot more than what he did this year. Tyreek's a beast. Um, I do like Cedric Wilson. Cedric Wilson balled out. You know, get some defensive players. You know, and some draft picks, and roll with Mike White for y'all bridge quarterback for a year. Maybe even go and draft another quarterback just to keep in the stock and the cachet. You know, and develop him. You know, but however, that will probably knock y'all out of playoff contention, and y'all probably want to win now because y'all so close. Y'all like right there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all right there. Um, but yeah, that's straight freestyling right now. That's what I would have to say.
But you know what, trucking? You know where they messed up at? They messed up when they had Fitzpatrick there, and in the middle of the season they made the swap to Tua. Remember that?
Mhm.
A
Yeah,
couple years back.
right.
So that's the other thing I can say. Hey, would you accept? Is this an acceptable
Hell
trade?
no. Hell no. Hell no.
Hey, now
Uh-uh.
Chucky, you being a little contradictory now. You said you need an offensive wizard. That's what you said. And what you said now.
But I can't give up
Don't
time.
backpedal on me now.
Not for time. I no. I said no.
I know what you said. I know.
I
I know.
can't have I can't have my dog Tomlin. I can't have my dog Tomlin go. No, Tomlin. That's my I don't want Tomlin to go. I don't want him to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But look, man, there's a whole bunch of other people that think that we need to change that in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? And but I don't think Tomlin should go at all. No, I like Tomlin, but McDaniel, that is a kind of
But
uh,
he can't run that type of stuff he run in Miami up there with y'all.
if no, who McDaniel? Now we
No, he
need a
won't.
quarterback. We need a quarterback. We ain't got no quarterback. We need
I
a
don't
quarterback.
think y'all could. I don't think he can do all that he
Who
doing. With,
McDaniel with Tomlin? You don't think McDaniel under Tomlin for the OC? I mean, not the
I
head coach,
don't
but
know.
the OC.
I don't know if y'all could do all that because y'all don't have a Tyreek and a Waddle. Now y'all got George Pickens now. I like
Big
George. Y'all
monster.
got Deontay. I love them too, but that ain't Tyreek and that ain't that ain't
Nah,
Jalen Waddle. You
nah,
can't run a lot of them
nah,
plays that,
nah.
that he running. Not saying he can't figure it out, but
I gotta man, Miami, man. I'm almost
Miami
more
is
upset
good.
about Miami getting kicked out than I am my Steelers. That's crazy because y'all got all the fastest guys on the team, all that other stuff, man. Like how they, I don't
Miami
know,
Miami
man.
is the team that you create on Madden. You know, where you go get all the fast players, you get all the names, you get all the look.
Yeah.
You got Jalen
Mhm,
Ramsey, Howard,
mhm,
Jalen
mhm.
Phillips, who came from Miami.
True.
Like I say, A Chain, one of the fastest players, and you got Waddle and you got Tyreek. And obviously they got some more players. I'm just, but those are the names. They got
Hmm.
the names on the team. But
They got the fastest players in their
defense player.
position
Yeah, yeah,
on that team.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So like, long as if they can get a better like Mike White, I like Mike White. What he did, what I seen Mike White do up in New York, I don't know. Y'all might need to go ahead and let Tua go to one of these other teams, man. Like low in the draft. Like, I don't know. Maybe Washington. Maybe try a trade with Washington. See what y'all, get they pick. And then make something work with that. I don't know.
I don't know
He
either.
said,
Like I
fire
said,
Tua. Hey, E Brown, why you don't like Tua, man? Is it that play, man? Cause that play, I don't know. Is it that play? Cause see, Shy say he ain't see that play. Cause I'm telling you,
like I
Shy,
said, I heard about it. But like I
man,
said,
Shy,
though,
it was
look,
crazy, man. It was
Chuck, look,
crazy, Shy.
Chuck, and look, we all saw that play.
Yeah,
When Tua got hit and his head hit the ground, we
yeah,
saw him take 2 steps and go right back down. We all saw that.
yeah.
And what did they do? They cleared him for the next week, right? If my
Mm-hmm.
memory is serving me correct. Y'all, the management don't even care about the young man. So I can't get on the Tua hate train like that. And like I say, I'm
Mm-hmm.
outside. I don't watch every game, but I'm just saying that the organization,
Mm-hmm.
they don't even care about the young man.
Nah. I
Only
think
person care about him is Mike McDaniel, and that's why Mike said, "Look, I want Waddle, I want Reek, I want A-Chain. I want to help you be good, but
because honestly, man, from watching that game shot, man, I'm telling you, man, if they had somebody back there, QB, who had a killer instinct, man, they win, man. He didn't want it, man. He didn't even want to run shot. He didn't want to get hit. That's why they talking like that right now. They all fans, shot. I'm telling you, shot. That's why they talking like that right now about him, shot, because he could have got it, and they know it. Like, you could have got that first down, and you just
I don't know. I mean, listen. Hey, if they want to get another quarterback, it's a draft to go get it.
yeah.
You can go. I mean, JJ McCarthy will be there. He'll run.
Oh no,
He'll run.
nah, I
Hey,
don't
but
know.
you know what though? But you know what, Chuck? This is what I'm gonna say about this though, Chuck. This is what I'm gonna say like this, right?
Yeah,
Mike McDaniel, being the brainchild that he is,
right.
I feel like he could do some stuff with JJ. And I know they may be in the chat say, "Oh, Shy, you wouldn't want him for your Raiders." No, I don't. But you know what I'm saying. But I think for what they got and for the physical, I like JJ McCarthy. I just
Mm-hmm.
he has a lot of untapped potential to me. But if they want to get a quarterback, this is the year to go get one.
I think so too. I think so too. Um,
I
he
don't know
said,
if this
please.
is to both of us or just to you. I'm gonna go ahead and answer
Okay.
no. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, that's my answer. No, I don't think he could beat either of them.
But
No.
you know what though? But you know what though?
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you this, Chucky. This I'm the type of person I look at and say, look, it's a team game.
Okay.
The actual question is, are the Miami Dolphins defense good enough to defeat those 3 teams? To me, that's the question.
Yeah,
And
I don't know,
with
and I don't
injuries
know
that
what
they got, I don't think so.
is that what hindered them though. Shot. You think is that what hindered that team this year? Was that defense that been them injuries?
I think it is.
Yeah, because their defense was nice all season. You know what I'm saying? They was high. Their defense was high all season. I like that defense, but no, and Tua, he said he has the three S's: short, soft, and slow. See, look, listen, listen,
He
listen,
proud of
man.
no
He
slack.
went. You don't lose a playoff game shot and then get your ass whooped in a playoff game and then go to the quarterback and say, "Can I have your jersey?" In the mid, no, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. You go and get your publicist, like a publicist. Go talk to Mahomes guy. Tell him to give me that jersey. You know what I'm saying? And then, could you imagine how that felt? You just lost in the playoff game, bro. I'm going back to the locker room with Mahomes jersey on my shoulder. I probably would have smacked it off his shoulder. Like, what the fuck
I don't
you
think I
doing?
don't, I don't think they got nobody like that in the locker room though. To be honest,
You don't think so? You don't think Ramsey about that? Yeah, Ramsey.
no man, no, not it. No.
You said
Steve
Ellen.
Smith, Steve Smith pulled Jalen Ramsey
I
card
mean,
way long time.
hey, Ellen V. Ellen V. She say, why not? He a fan, right? I say,
Ellen ain't being serious right now. She
I
know
know. Oh, okay. See, I just think I was gonna answer it. I just think that is a time and a place for that, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you do that right after you lose, right on the middle of the field. You know what I'm saying? That's the identity of your team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Miami about that, a football team, and you get to look that don't resemble Miami. I know people was hot, like, what is he doing? Because I wouldn't have been with it. I wouldn't have been okay. But what you think about your Raiders, man? What's up with your Raiders? What happened this year with your Raiders, man? What happened, man?
Man, I don't think. Listen, I don't think it's enough time in the year for me to detail everything. Right now, I'm gonna say this though. Quarterback, defense didn't round into shape into the second half of the season. Josh Jacobs being nicked up,
Mm-hmm.
just not being able to. Devontae Adams. I'm gonna tell you this though, and this probably isn't unfavorable, but as far as trades, I think we need some pieces. I wouldn't be opposed to. Hey, look, if y'all, what would y'all give us for Devontae Adams? I think we need some pieces.
Mm,
I think that brother is good enough to where he need to go to a situation where he can go play for a contender.
mm-hmm.
Because I think it's time if Antonio Pierce does get the job, I think it's just time to go ahead and just look. Let's just start over. We need some pieces. You know what I mean? So that's my thought process about it.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I look, I don't think, the truth be.
Ooh. Mm. You know what? I'm going to Eagles. No. Yeah, I'm going to Eagles. I'm going to Eagles
Why the Eagles? But why? Why?
because of how they started the season. They were
Mm,
10-1 at one point,
mm,
and then the bottom just fell out. They limped into the playoffs,
mm,
and then you go out. Now the Cowboys got beat down. Now I can't even say the Dolphins because they made that graphic throughout the year to say, "Hey, look, the Dolphins haven't beat a team that's over 500, so we
mm.
can't really take y'all serious anyway." Cowboys, uh, yeah, did get beat down. They did get beat down pretty bad, but I'm going with the Eagles.
All right. I mean, me, I disagree. I can't say the Eagles because there's something else going on there with the Eagles that I don't know about. I got to go with the Cowboys in that one.
I don't, you know, I
I got to
think
go with the Cowboys, and why I go with the Cowboys is because this was Dak's year to get it done. I mean, look, Jerry Jones probably ain't gonna never see a Super Bowl before he leave this earth. You know what I mean? Because um, Dak was supposed to get it done. They brought in Trey Lance. Dak gone. Mike McCarthy, they head coach. He was supposed to get it done. He didn't fired the offensive coordinator and took over play calling for the offense. That didn't work. And then everybody want to blame Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, but then you don't look at the defense. The defense, the one that let it got scored on. Dan Quinn, they want Dan Quinn. No, Dan Quinn ain't gonna be no better. He hit out, and then Jerry Jones always wants control over that offense. You know what I'm saying? He wants control over the coach. He always want to give the interviews and tell the coach what to do. And I don't think that they ever gonna get a coach worth of quality to the Cowboys over there. You know what I mean? Because of that. So
but again, the reason I say that, I think if we're just going for 1 year, I have to say that the Eagles. But if we were talking about just a culmination, just
mhm.
overall, then I mean, obviously, you have to go with the Cowboys, right? You have to go with the Cowboys. But yeah, that's about it. I don't like I said, I don't want to turn it into a Dolphins show. I just had to ask you because you was a Steelers fan, and I know because Mike Tomlin got the. If I sing you this, just know I'm about to walk out your life. You know what I mean? He got.
I
The,
I mean, look, man. It very may well happen because of the popular opinion around is that everybody, wanting, they want change. You know what I'm saying? Because you could argue like, did he ever win a Super Bowl with his team? With a Mike Tomlin team? Has he ever won a Super Bowl with a Mike Tomlin team? I've heard that a couple of times, because you got to think like I think the last one we got was '09, right? And the last one we won was in '09, and that was on the tail end of Palomalu and Ryan Clark and all them being there. But that was also the tail end of Bill Cowher's players too, though. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And although we have been to the playoffs, we got one and everything like that. But like I said, the culture around Pittsburgh is just different. That ain't the culture. I remember the NFL mimicking us and what we did on defense. You know what I'm saying? Around like being tough. Like we got to get our defense as tough how the Steelers and the Ravens is. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah,
like nobody's scared to play us no more. And I don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't like that image like with us. You know what I mean? Like you got to fear Pittsburgh. You know, when you play Pittsburgh, like you score 20 points on Pittsburgh, you like, oh, you scored 20 on Pittsburgh. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't let that up. But we lost that for some reason. The culture around there, you know, is just different. You know, TikTok, Antonio Brown going all crazy like that ain't us, man. You know,
yeah,
but the one thing I never really liked about it is we don't pay our players. We pay the good ones, but we don't pay to keep players around. You know what I'm saying? And I think that might change with Omar Khan there being a little bit our GM and all of that. But man. Like it may well be, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm hearing a lot of people saying that. But if you ask me, no, I don't think we get rid of him because we're a mediocre team. I don't even think we playoff worthy right now. To be honest, like for me being honest, I don't think we playoff worthy without him being there. If he's not there, we're not having that record. We getting a way better draft pick than that. You know what I'm saying? Than what we have right now. So that's just me.
yeah, yeah.
So what you man? Hey man, I heard you talking about your Canes and all that, man. You say an 8-9 win season, man. That's your expectations this year.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
most people would say that's hedging a bit, but I
Mhm.
think that may be right in line with what Vegas puts us at. I think Vegas may go 8.5, maybe 9. I think that's what they probably gonna do, and I think because they're gonna look at it from the same vantage point that I think I'm looking at it from. You're replacing some experience,
Mm.
at some key pieces. I mean, at some key places. And I think that's going to, like I said, on the defense now. I think the offense will be fine, but my biggest concern is just on the defense. You
Mhm.
know, we didn't really get a lot. We didn't really rotate a lot of guys in our back seven, and that's where we are losing some guys at in that back seven. So I think that's what that's just my thought process.
Do you think how many you watch a lot of college football or not?
Yeah, I watch a lot.
Okay. So do you think that uh 9-3, 10-2 would be good enough for to get in the college football
No,
playoff?
no. Nah. Because you're gonna have 5 spots
Mhm.
occupied by the conference winners. So we
Mhm.
need so you got that. And then when you are adding Oregon, Washington, and USC to the Big Ten, so you automatically say, okay, well, 2 spots going to the Big Ten, right there. So that's gonna put you. So there goes your 6th team. Same thing go for the SEC. So there goes your 7th team. Then you're gonna have the at-large P5 team. So there goes 8. So you got 4 more, teams. So then it's gonna go down the strength of schedule.
Mhm.
Currently looking at our schedule right now, I think we may only have one preseason ranked team on our schedule, and I
Mm.
think that's probably going to be Florida State. Maybe Louisville may slip in there because we played them again this year, but we are only going to have one ranked team, maybe 2, on our entire schedule. So if we are in nip and tuck ball games and only win 9, we'd be lucky to be in the top 15, in my opinion.
Okay. That's a fair thing. That's a fair take on that. You know, I said something different. I thought that being like a 9-3 team might get you in the ACC if you was to play for the ACC championship in that matter. You know what I mean? Like if you were 9-3 and the other guy team was what 10-2 for some reason in the ACC, you win the ACC, you don't think you still get in the college football playoff with that
No,
record?
no. You're saying if we win? No. Well, the way the playoffs is set up, I think
Mhm.
all 5 conference wins they get an automatic spot. So
Right.
no, if you're saying if we win the conference at 9
Yeah.
wins, yeah, we'll
Mhm.
get in. But if you
Right.
say that we don't win the conference with 9,
Mhm.
no.
Okay, right.
No.
Because I don't know, man. Because a lot of people sleep on the ACC, man. I watched a lot of ball, man. I think that y'all was very effective in that whole conference. I think that whole conference was very effective with stopping the run. You know what I mean? And I think they had to be because y'all played one of the toughest running backs in college football. Mario Hampton was a beast for UNC. I ain't even gonna lie. He could tote that thing, man.
He showed it against us. I was at that game. He
You know
showed
what I mean? He was toting, man, and
it.
I think that y'all had honestly, like y'all had some of the best run defenses in college football. If you ask me, y'all looked good. You know what I'm saying? And the competition was pretty good. So
I
you
think
can't.
I think the problem with the ACC
Hmm.
is the ACC is gonna have a hard time getting out of that perception that it had, right?
Hmm.
And I know, like you say, you watch college football, but you remember when the acronym for ACC was Almost Competitive Conference. You remember when
Yeah,
that was floating
yeah,
around?
you remember that,
So the ACC has to get out of. They have to get out of that, right? And
right?
so then you had a situation where, and I've said this before, and I said I'm gonna see if you kind of follow with me. If you disagree, cool.
Mhm.
But I said what made the SEC unique is the SEC never attached its wagon to just one team. I think the Pac-12 made that mistake. They hitched their wagon to USC. It didn't work. The
Mhm.
Big Ten hitched their wagon to Ohio State. That doesn't breed parity. The Big 12 attached their wagon to Oklahoma and Texas, which Oklahoma has been, winning,
Right,
but Texas has been down. And then you got the rest of the conference. And then obviously the ACC hitched their wagon back in 2004 to say, hey, look, we're going to hitch our wagon to Florida State and Miami. Florida State has held up their end of the bargain. We haven't.
right,
Whereas the SEC said, look, no, we're branding this as an entire conference, and we're gonna do this. We've been doing this since 2006.
right,
This is conference. We had what 6 teams win the national title. You got what LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Florida, and Georgia. So yeah, five teams win.
right,
So it's always been conference with them.
right.
Whereas with the ACC, it's just been okay. Well, it's either Florida State or Miami, or then it was Florida State and Clemson. So I think that's what it is. And I mean, the ACC is all right, but and then also the other thing that you have to get over is the fact that it's looked at as a basketball conference as well. So
Right. That too. I mean, some of the best basketball in the AC. Okay, you can say that. You know what I'm saying? Even that's leaning a little bit away. I mean, Purdue, all that. But yeah, I feel that, man. But I mean, I enjoyed a lot of the ACC football this year. Believe it or not, even though the records was not as flashy as the other record. The other teams like I seen the Big Ten ball this year. Um, that was kind of boring. I mean, you kind of knew that like Ohio State and Michigan was going to run the table in that. You know what I mean? You kind of knew that really. I mean,
yeah,
even Northwestern, they finished off like 7-5, but I really put some respect on the ACC this year. You know what I'm saying? Like I paid really really close attention to them, and I definitely got to put some respect on that. Like I said, because I seen a lot of good run defense in that conference, man, and I seen a lot of good ball. And just because the records was if you look around, it was like y'all got to start winning games outside of the conference. That's what it is. When y'all play outside of the conference, y'all got to put it. These other teams got to put them down. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because y'all ball good against each other, but when it's outside of the conference, that's where them games come in, and you got to start putting it on them other squads, man. That's it, man. But hey, look, man, I'm getting ready. I've been hanging around for a minute, man. Got anything else, man? Want to kick?
Oh no. Like I said, I'm at the lock in. Like I said, you said Saturday's it's at 5. So yeah. I'm at the check it out. Cause like I
All
said,
right.
yeah. Cause like I said, this is this K show. But like I say, every now and again, I just like to have a general conversation. But I know
Yeah.
what most people are here to talk about. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I just had to ask you that still a question. But like I said, maybe when you do your next broadcast or something like that, just let me know. When you're just having a general chat, and just let me know. And
Yeah.
which we check you out anyway. But and we just have a
I
you know
always I always put the link. I always put the link
okay,
up for my show. You know what I'm saying? For you could jump on and
okay, okay,
share some words or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We can have a convo. I do it all the time because
okay.
yeah, I do it. I put it in there, man. So
Okay.
we got to look out for each other out here, man. You
Oh
know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh
We got to keep the community tight, man. We got to try to keep this community tight knit, you know,
yeah.
out here, man. I appreciate it like that. You know, I was like, I was just coming in to show you some support, man, real quick. You threw the link up. I said, man, let me kick it with him for a little bit, man. You know,
Oh
ain't
yeah.
no harm in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Ain't no harm in that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it though. I
Oh,
enjoyed it. I
yeah.
enjoyed
Enjoy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it
Okay.
for sure.
All right then. All right then. So you said you are at 9 or 10 in terms of wins for Miami this year.
Uh, I say nine. I say nine wins, man. 9 wins. You know, I say nine.
Okay.
Nine, 9, 10 wins. Yeah, nine. It's hard to say really because I'm right there with 9 and 10. Because from what I seen last year, y'all was in them games, and then like, and then and then too, you also helped too. You know, y'all did lose a couple of defensive players, like you said. The games last year passed, so it's like 9 and 10. But let's say 10, man. And let me say 10. I'm gonna go with 10, man, because I do believe in Ward. I seen what Cameron Ward can do with a sorry team, so I imagine what he can do in Miami. If y'all can keep him upright, I know what he can do.
Okay. This is my last question to you. I'm glad you brought that up because I touched on that kind of in my introduction. Cam Ward's gonna get here. Well, he's already here, right? Spring practice is gonna start in March, right?
Hmm.
So we have our coaching staff has from February until we kick off in Gainesville against Florida.
Hmm.
So one of the things that I highlighted about Cam Ward, what I liked is the Cam Ward can make a lot of off schedule plays. So let me ask you this, right? And you watch NFL just like I watch NFL, and one of the things that they always say is that the quarterbacks, like they do it with Lamar all the time, right? Want
Hmm.
to get out of the pocket, wants to get out of the pocket. We want to be a pocket passer. Do you, in your mind, feel like Cam Ward can be a pocket passer
Yes.
after trying to break a habit that he probably has had since high school? Do you feel like that habit can be broken of trying to be Superman in
Hmm.
this short amount of time? I'm ask you that.
Yes, if he wants to win, I think that's part of that may be part of the reason why he coming back to work on that because he knows that he has to prove himself in another dynamic of his game, and that's going to up his draft stock. You know what I mean? So yes, I do think that he can do that. Answering your question.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I feel like he can too, but I just don't think this is enough time to do it. I think he's still gonna have some of that in him
Yeah.
because that's a part. Like I say, that's a part of his game. It's kind of like when, obviously, when RG3 got drafted to the Red, to the
Right.
Command, and everyone was like, okay, well, Robert, once you stay in the pocket, but then when Robert wants to stay in the pocket, why he didn't run? You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
I, I think it's gonna be kind of interesting to see that balancing act of him
You know
this.
what though? You know what though? And Shad, that's a fair take, and I understand why you feel that way too. That was very the way you broke that down is that's very understandable. Like I feel like you know, with Robert Griffin, he was older. You know what I mean? You can't teach an old dog new. He like this got me to the NFL. However, Cameron Ward decided to humble himself, come back to college and know that he has to work on things. You know what I'm saying? I have to show these people that I am better than what they think I am. They think I'm a runner, and I think that you could use that in college. That's part of college football. I think that's just part of being a quarterback now. Period. Anyhow,
Yeah,
like if you're not a dual threat quarterback, if you can't run and you can't pass, then you like I don't think that you're gonna get very far no anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I think, yeah, like I said, what you said was fair, and I think that when he comes back, he wants to prove that, and it may be hard to break him out of that in a short amount of time, but that also could benefit y'all too. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he won't let that go because he's gonna need to scramble. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes and make plays on his feet. You know what I mean? But I do think that, but I don't know. Like, don't y'all got some decent receivers coming? Did y'all get Concepcion from North? Did y'all grab him up or no?
no, wait, no, no, no,
Okay, okay.
no. See, that's what I was kind of saying because most people were saying, "Hey, you're gonna have a better receiving core here," and I'm like, they had a good receiving core at Washington State. It's
Yeah,
air raid. You're gonna have guys that can run,
yeah.
routes and all this stuff. So I don't think it's more so just about the weapons. To me, it's just about is he going to be able to
Yeah,
do that?
yeah.
Because, like you said, he's coming back to do that. But then you just watch Anthony Richardson, who we don't necessarily know how well he can throw a forward pass. He gets drafted. We watch Cam Newton put an entire team on his back and account for 30 some odd touchdowns running, throwing, and all that stuff like that. So that's why I'm just kind of saying, like, maybe if he had another year, I think there would be enough time to kind of reel him back in. But I think, right, and you know what, I say this. Let me ask you this question. I know I said that was the last question, but like I said, we kind of talking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go. Um, do you think it could be a situation where he tries to overcompensate because he felt the because
Mhm.
from the report that I saw, he felt
Mhm.
that he was a day one selection.
Mhm.
However, the NFL felt that he was a round 3 to 5 type of guy.
Right.
Do you think it could be a situation where he may try to overcompensate?
You know what? That's like trying to get in, like, to speculating on what he gonna do or whatever. But I would hope not. I would hope he wouldn't come in and try to overcompensate, because that's when you start running into making decisions and bad decisions. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he's trying to stay away from and coming to prove himself otherwise. You know what I mean? Down at Miami. So I would hope that he wants to stay away from overcompensating, trying to play Superman, and just come in and know, if I could come in and manage this, manage this offense for now until I'm more comfortable in it, then become the game changer that he can be, in those moments, then I believe that sky's the limit. But if he comes in and he's trying to overcompensate, that could be a problematic for the University of Miami. So let's hope that he don't do that. But I guess when you ask that question, I guess it's possible for anybody to try to kind of have that attitude to want to overcompensate because of what they may feel like in their ego, you know what I mean? But hopefully he doesn't come in that. He come in with the right mind state to try to learn the offense, learn his guys, get chemistry with the weapons that he had. Because to be honest, the receivers that he had up at Washington State, he kind of made them better. He made them better. Like, he did his thing, man. He did his thing. Almost 4,000 yards. You know what I mean? Taking 38 sacks. He had a nice completion percentage, like 67% of his passes. He man, look, he can get the job done, man. So if he just come in and just produce the same way, and like I said, y'all keep him from getting off the ground, keep that jersey clean of his, y- y'all gonna have a great season down there, man. Because y'all got one. Y'all definitely got one. I definitely got one at the U. That's a fact. But let's hope he stays away from doing that though, Shy. You know what I mean? That he don't get too big headed, man. And I get it. You know, he got to come in, learn a new offense, and and learn to be able to hand the ball off and everything else. Because I think y'all ain't running no air raid, that for sure. But
No, that ain't no.
but y'all still do pass the ball fairly, a good amount of times a game, because like I said, y'all did have the number 2 passing offense in the ACC, which is shocking to me, because I'm like, it's kind of shocking to me that y'all did have the number 2
A lot of.
passing offense,
Hey, but
Well,
like I said, our leading receiver, he averaged, I think, right at 14 and a half yards per catch. That was Xavier Restrepo. So it was a lot of yak yardage, and a lot of throws, being completed over 10 yards and stuff like that. So,
mhm, mhm.
yeah.
She said, "Say we." She said, "Say we."
We can't say we ain't gonna hold his feet to the fire. Like
She
I
said,
said,
"Say we." She said, "Say we." So we want me to say me. You want me to say go Hurricanes.
yeah.
No, man, but
Got
look,
it.
man, I'm pumped. I'm excited to see him ball, man. I'm glad he came back, because for me, when I was looking around, man, there's some good quarterbacks coming back, in college next year. But I'm like, man, who is Shador really gonna have competition with? But then when Cam Ward came back, I said, ooh, I said, man, I said that you got Cam Ward. I said, oh, that's gonna go crazy for them. But like, man, look, a lot of some people, I do appreciate the fact though, and seeing the fact that y'all didn't go into saying like, oh, we going to the natty. No, I didn't hear none of that. And that's good though. You know what I'm saying? That's good
It's
that
a
y'all
couple.
got realistic. You said there's a couple.
Oh, yes, a couple. But you
Oh,
know what? I don't mean to cut you off. What I say about those people, those are individuals. I love those people because
Hmm.
they don't allow for the standard to change.
Right, right,
You
right.
feel like Miami is a premier program, and they're
Hmm.
not going to slide back. They may hate that me and you were saying 8, 9, maybe 10. They don't want to hear that, but again, that's they standard, and I'm not gonna try to argue them off that hill. I promise you.
Real. Well, I mean, I'm just coming in realistic with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And just
yeah,
just because of the fact that y'all kind of, I can't say that there was more. The players is leaving the portal, but the staff, it was just the staff changes. You know what I'm saying? Keeping the same staff there, that matters. That matters so much to the program. But like, look, from what y'all had last year, and if y'all could even get a little bit of what y'all had last year and keep him off the ground as much as I did the other quarterbacks, man. Look, I'm telling you, he gonna light it up. I know he gonna light the ACC up. He gonna tear the ACC up because I don't right now in the ACC, man. And I just did some quarterbacks out there in the ACC. I think he got to be the best one to me. Statistically, I
yeah, on
mean,
paper, yeah,
I
yeah,
from the eyes, everything, like he got to be the best
yeah,
quarterback that I see going in the ACC.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You know,
yeah,
'cause
yeah, yeah.
you can argue you can't say DJ Ugly Game is the best quarterback in the ACC, even though like he, I
Hey,
mean,
second, hey, don't say that out loud now. Dad may come find you now.
I'm just saying like I'm just saying like he, but one thing I will say about him though, he has gotten better every year. You know what I'm saying, and then him wanting to come in and say, um. and him wanting to come back into college and saying, I want to, you know what I'm saying, get it right, you know what I'm saying, not get it wrong. You got to commend that. And all he got to do is just go down there in Florida State and just manage the game. He ain't even got to be a game changer down there. As long as he managed the game, he'd be all right.
Yeah,
You know, but we ain't talking about that though. We talking about
nah,
Cam and Beast though, man. I think y'all looking good. I gotta grab this. Hold on. Yeah, but I think Cam looking good, man. I don't see no other quarterbacks messing with y'all, man. I
yeah,
don't. I don't, man.
yeah.
Thanks for having me up on here though. She
Oh,
said
no problem,
saying
man.
that because he be in the CU chats too. I be in the CU chats, man. I be in the I be everywhere. I'm what they call it, the what they call it, the cloudy chasing.
Hey, man, he just a
I
fan of
be
football.
everywhere, Ellen.
Listen, hey, I've been Ohio State chats. I listen to
Be
stuff about
everywhere,
Michigan. You
man.
know, hey, Michael
I'm
Penix
out
was
here.
my favorite quarterback this year. Hey,
I'm out here grinding, man. I know, man. They
yeah,
trying to convert me, but they done got mad at me over there at LMV. They done got so mad at me, boy, because I done said they wasn't gonna win no national championship over there, boy. You should have seen what they did to me. They, you should have seen what they did to me, boy. I'm talking about my Twitter. My ex was going off all night long. I'm telling you, man, they was on me all night long, boy, in that X, boy. I said they ain't. I mean, cause they got a lot of coaching changes going on over there, man. I mean, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot. When you, I mean, you know, cause you a Hurricanes fan, so you know, like how I feel to be changing coaches and what
yeah,
happens after you change coaches. You know exactly what happens after that.
yep.
So but they don't want to hear that. They like, no, no, oh no, it ain't. No, nah, let me not hold on, man. Let me not do that. Man. I ain't
Nah.
gonna do that on your channel, Shy, because
Oh no, no, I
they
got
might block you. They might block you.
yeah, they might come over here.
Yeah, they might come over here blocking you, reporting you, saying some other stuff and all
Yeah,
that. Like, I ain't no man, no, we can't afford those. So
no, no, no,
gonna
no.
leave that alone. But
No.
hey, man, I enjoyed it, man. I
All
definitely
right,
enjoyed the chat, man. And you having me, man. Anytime, brother. Anytime, man. Hit me with your hit the my ex up. It's Truck and Chubby is sports with Truck and Chubby. Same thing that's on there. And you could DM me whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll send my information over to you. Hold on, I'll send it to you right now in the private chat, and then I'll get on up out of here, man.
all
All
right,
right, get
all
on up
right.
out of here, man. I appreciate you having me on. You get it?
Yeah, I got it. All right, got it.
All right, bet.
All right, man. All right, I got
All
you.
right, side.
All right,
Appreciate y'all for having me on here, Canes.
all right. Peace.
All right, peace.
So that was an interesting conversation. Like I said, I didn't expect to come here today and talk about the Dolphins, but you know, it's uh it's all good. You know what I mean? I know a lot of Miami Hurricane fans or Dolphin fans, so it is what it is. I don't really have too much more, to be honest. I see Coach Hayes that went live. He gonna go live again, so um, and I've answered all the questions that I had. I see that Katie said the bad news is Mario Cristobal is still the head coach. That clown can lose 5 games to Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. Cuban, I don't know if you're still here. What event are you talking about in July? Are you talking about a big recruiting event or something like that? I'm not too sure. Um, but remember the Pac-12 is gone. The four conference. Oh, you right, Troy. You right. Okay, now okay. I'm glad you put that up there. I'm glad you put that up there. Okay. Oh man. I forgot about that. I guess that's why the P5 winner is gonna get an automatic bid. So mm, I forgot I don't know how this slipped my mind. I forgot all about that. Okay, appreciate that, Troy. Appreciate that. 9 wins. Like I said, I'm at about 8 or 9. John Futch, Bob Greasy. Um, I don't know. Maybe I can get maybe somebody invite me over to a Dolphins chat one day, and maybe we can talk about that. But I don't know. But I'm sure they do want Tua to be like Dan Marino. I'm sure I'm sure they still long for those particular years. But again, I guess I guess I'm gonna go over my 4 questions again, answer them again, and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not gonna bloviate and pontificate and vacillate any longer than I have to. So does the spring count? I think it is going to count. I think it's going to be imperative to see what Cam Ward and Poffenberger actually look like. They need to look like experienced quarterbacks, in my opinion. The offense is going to be vanilla. They're going to be certain play calls offensively against certain play calls defensively that should make them look. This should make them look better, but it should look good. You know what I mean? Because I think that's going to be the first test because obviously there's going to be a couple, maybe 2 or 3 scrimmages before that, before the spring game is, before people are allowed to go watch the spring game. So it's going to be real interesting. I think this spring is going to be intense, especially from the offensive side of the ball. Even though Cam Ward is the, you know, deemed starter, you know what I mean. I still, like I said, I still got to knock on wood because we've dealt with our starting quarterback going out the past 4 years. So, um, knock on wood, Cam Ward can make it through the entirety of the season. But like I said, I'm gonna be very very interested in looking at the spring, especially offensively. Well, no, really more so defensively, because I think again, like I mentioned, Kiko played a crap ton of snaps this particular year. So it's going to be very imperative, in my opinion, to make sure that we get a guy that we can at least get the snaps between him and the backup, maybe 60-40, in my opinion. I'm not going to say 50-50, maybe 60-40, 60-30, maybe. Have to do a lot better. Have to figure out who's going to replace Corey Flagg. I know most people are earmarking West Passant, but I don't think West Passant at this particular point, from what I saw towards tail in the season, I don't think West Passant is that type of linebacker just yet, like a Corey Flagg. So it'd be interesting to see how that formulates. But I think this particular spring right here, I think a lot can be taken away from this particular spring. Honestly, I really do. And like I said, I've already given my expectations, 8 to 9 wins. I know my guy said he disagrees, but like I said, I'm only saying that because I think it's an imbalance right now. I don't think the experience is equal on both sides of the ball like it needs to be to really speak about a team that's a veteran team with a lot of experience. I don't think we've reached that milestone yet, and I think it'll be more so. Um, I think it'll be more so like that in 2025, and I know most people said that. And so now looking at it, I see it. And I know some people tell me on the message board they watch my YouTube channel and they say, um, I'm more pessimistic on the YouTube on the message board, but then I come over here to YouTube and I'm a lot more rational. But it's like, it's just that's just how I am. You know what I mean? It's certain things that I argue, and then when I come on here, it's certain things that I don't talk about, or certain subjects that I don't talk about on here that I talk about or interject myself into on the message board. So that's the difference, right? Um, like I say, expectations for Cam, just be, you know, efficient, right? Don't try to overcompensate. I think when you look at it, what Trucking was saying in terms of we don't have to he doesn't have to do more to try to get to the league. And I agree, but then like I say, my pushback is, well, he probably felt like he done enough these past 2 years at Washington State, and the NFL was like, no, we need a little bit more. So maybe he may try to overcompensate a little bit more. I don't know, because to me, I'm looking at it like this is like, and because it's only a certain amount of teams that are gonna need a quarterback anyway. So they're gonna be after the Caleb. They're gonna be after the Drake May. They're gonna be after the Bo Nix. They're gonna be after the Michael Penix and even the Jaden Daniels, who made himself a crap ton of money these past two particular years. So, but there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback. So he just may try to overcompensate a little bit, and I haven't heard anyone, you know, speak about that. Like I said, I like to listen to other YouTubers that cover Miami to kind of see, and that's one of the things like South Coast said, and I agree. Where it's like we may all talk about the same subject, but we may present it from a different viewpoint because, like what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, um, Flo was speaking about, okay, well, how would the team interact with him? Because it's like you could have been here already. You know what I mean? You kind of drug this out a little bit further. So you could have been here a month, maybe a month and a half sooner. Now you're coming in. Now there may be some rumors that, okay, you wanted to renegotiate the NIL, one or two times or something like that. So now you got to walk in the room and try to build a bond. You know what I mean? And so it may be a little faction because it's like, look, hey, bro, you just here for a year. And you really wouldn't necessarily be here if the NFL told you what you wanted to hear. You see what I'm saying? So you got to break through all of that. And I think the last time we had a situation like that was back when Brad Collier and Ryan Williams were at it, where Ryan Williams was clear to go. Um, look at Ryan Williams was clear to go. Brad Collier arrived in the summer, and Al Golden made the decision to say, "Hey, look, you know what? We're gonna take the bumps and the bruises this particular year, but we're hoping that this is going to turn into something later on." And realistically, we can possibly say it did. I think we went 7-5 that first year with Brad in 2014. No, 2015. No, 2014. 2015 we go 8-5. Al Golden gets fired. Then in 2016 we win 9, and then in 2017 we win 10. So Al Golden made a decision. Al Golden made a decision that in reality turned out to be 7, 8, 9, and a 10 win, type of ordeal, even though Brad wasn't here, in 2017. But maybe if Brad was here in 2017, we may have been talking about 10 or 11. So you got to kind of look at it from that vantage point. Like Al Golden, low key, kind of that was a pretty good decision because that 1 year of Ryan Williams playing, we may have won 8 or 9, but then you go into 2020, we go into the 2015 season with a quarterback that didn't play at all. You know what I mean? Because Ryan Williams is going to be leaving. So that's that. Um, um, Ellen says just overcompensating doesn't hurt us or him. You just hope it doesn't. I mean, it again, Ellen. It depends on what is he trying to do. What are his goals and aspirations? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you now. I don't know if this was just media pundits just speaking out, just throwing stuff in the atmosphere when they say, well, hey, doesn't like Cam Ward, he can go to Miami and win a Heisman Trophy. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, are y'all just saying this to crap on Miami? Or are y'all getting some type of intel that Cam Ward, that's one of his goals and one of his aspirations? Because if that's one of his goals and aspirations, that's great. You know, that's great if he does. But then it may call for him to do some things that may be off schedule, and that's just the thing that I've been talking about. This offense looks like an offense that needs to be on schedule, and if things are off schedule, then it may work for Cam. But how does it work for for all of us, right? And like I said, it's just nobody to me, nobody really wants to touch some of the questions. Like that's what I say. Flo, I checked out Flo. Flo was one of the ones that touched on some things, right? Pause. And like I said, that was my whole thing right there. Is like, okay, I want to talk about. Everyone's going to talk about the good and show the highlights. Okay, well, let's talk about. Let's bring this. Let's make this argument whole. Let's talk about everything in its entirety. Let's talk about him just getting here and how we're going to have to try to turn him into something different than what he's been probably his whole life, right? How he's going to have to learn the playbook in a quick amount of time, how he's going to have to try to garner the trust and admiration for his teammates when you may have some guys that they love Jakari. You know what I mean? So, how can so many homers gush so much man love over Katie? I don't know. You know, people love the coach. Uh, Cuban said, I mean, that is his right. Look at what these coaches are doing. Cuban, are you saying that's his right to renegotiate? I mean, again, yeah, you're right. That's his right to renegotiate. If that's what you're talking about. 2017. Yeah, he would have been nice. He would have been nice. Like I say, full disclosure, I felt like the offensive line didn't really do Brad many favors in 2016, and I didn't really feel like the offensive line was going to be that much better in 2017. So I was kind of full disclosure. I was kind of like, well, if Brad leaves, he leaves. You know what I mean? We need a guy that can make some plays with his legs. And 2017, I mean, aside from the interceptions, Malik Rozier had a record-breaking year in many aspects, or record-setting year. But I think maybe looking back at it now, we probably don't lose to we probably don't lose to Pitt. I think that Notre Dame game probably it looks different, but at the same time, Malik Rozier was very very valuable with his legs that year too. So I don't know. We probably still could end up winning those same 10 games. I don't know. I would have to go back and look at the box score and stuff like that. So we can't know how a man gets his money. Do what's best for the player. These programs don't care. Get that money because your coach will leave whenever. You're right, Cuban. You're right. And that's why I say that's why I'm not gonna stand on the hill of saying, hey, well, they need to rein the NIL in and they need to do all this stuff. No, let it do what it does. But once all that dust is clear, like it is now, Cam, what you gotta be what you gotta be because you're given the keys to be the starter. Now, going back to that spring game, you have to look so exponentially better than Jakari and Emery and Poffenberger. You have to look so exponentially better because if you don't, I'm not gonna be one of the ones throwing out the excuse of, oh, well, he just got here and all that. Like, no, 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 no. If you're that guy, you can show up in a setting where there are going to be plays that are vanilla, and you need to make those vanilla plays look way better than the other two guys. You know, OG Kane, salute. My question is, when something bad happens, then how would an OC head coach react? You know, QB, I talked about that earlier. He's gonna go off script. I know what Truckin said, but I just think that's gonna be a hard task to break in that small amount of time. And I know the whole battle cry was, "Oh, we just a quarterback away. We just a quarterback away." And again, salute to Flo. Flo said, and I think the same thing. That was the case last year. This is a different year. Matt Lee and Cohen are gone. Um, how are we going to? It's going to be interesting to see how Francis looks next year. I know it was a kind of quite a few instances in which we kind of moved, chipped with a guy, may have lined Cam McCormick over there to help with some blocking and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see how well he's able to hold up over there. You know what I mean? He did well. You know what I mean? He did well. Was got a little handsy, but he's a freshman, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that kind of goes because one of the things that we kind of learned or has been said is that offensive lines they more times than not don't necessarily like blocking for a mobile guy because the guy may be moving around back there and they may not, you may be blocking the guy to the outside or something and the guy's trying to run that way or something like that. So, like I said, it's going to be a very interesting dynamic because we didn't really see that dynamic, right? What we saw in the bowl game was a Jakari who can move a little bit, and he took some sacks that he shouldn't have taken, and I think Cam Ward may take some sacks that he shouldn't take, right? Just because he's a mobile guy. You don't necessarily have to deal with those things when you got a guy like a Emery or a guy like a TVD who's I'm going to drop back, I'm going to go through my reads, I'm going to go through my progression. I'm not so antsy to get out of the pocket to try to make a play because that's not a part of my game. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it just is. Again, I may be. Some people may say, "Oh, I'm being overly pessimistic," but I'm just like I'm not. I'm just trying to talk about some of the stuff that I don't see other people talking about because it is what it is. OG, if he that guy, he can show up in a Cam Newton outfit and show out. You're right. Cam put an entire offense on his back. All script like voodoo. Hey, no. Cam Ward coming here makes 2024. Put up a shut up season. No more excuses. We have another Mickey or a seeking a hand right and we'll be on the wild. Katie, I mean you're right. You know, um, I know most people are like that. They feel like it should be 10. It should be 10 or more wins, and I feel that way too. But like I said, I feel like I would be disingenuous to myself if I just said that and then I didn't at the same token um, speak about some of the key pieces that we have to replace and how the offense, in my opinion, this year is going to have to lead the team. And we still had a game this year where we didn't score a touchdown. That's 2 years in a row where we've had games where we didn't score a touchdown, period. So can we say that's not going to happen again this year? I don't know. You know, I mean, some people say history is the best indicator of future, and sometimes it is, but I would just, what? I don't even want to say that. I know I already said it, but we better not have a game this year where we don't score a touchdown. We got Cam Ward at quarterback. It just better not happen. Bird, what's up, Brody? Um, so that's about it, man. Um, like I said, I put the link in the chat a little bit earlier, so I guess everybody kind of chilling out. So like I said, I'm not going to not gonna hold you guys any much longer. Got about 2 minutes, so we'll be at the 2 hour mark, and I get out of here then. But I've answered. I've um I've given the answer to all the questions that I had. Um, I gotta stop saying so much too. But I think we'll be fine though. I think we'll be fine. I think that I know it's going to be a contingency of the fan base that's going to be expecting 10 or more wins. It's probably something I know it's something that's expecting the playoff berth. And I think those are the ones that were the ones that stood on the table and said, "Hey, we just a quarterback away." So y'all are gonna be the ones that, in my opinion, are gonna be looking for a playoff berth, and I think that becomes the expectation when you add a Cam Ward, like like Katie said, that's the expectation, right? When you bring in a Cam Ward, when you go and get the guy from Marshall who was a problem, uh, you do some of the things that you've done and all that stuff like that. I think you are setting a precedent for that. But at the same time, I just have to look at it and say, man, we're gonna have a lot of guys on defense that have not played a lot of snaps, and they're going to be looked upon to shoulder the load, right? And like I said, I was just kind of blown away when I saw the amount of snaps that Kiko Mary Noah played last year, and I said, man, that's a lot of snaps, man. It's easy to see why he kind of faded towards the back end of the season. So hopefully we can get out to some situations where the offense can, put the other team's defense in some compromising situations. We can get up on some teams and what you say, burst a lot of Kane shows on tonight. Oh, I ain't thinking about doing it tonight. Like I said, I'm gonna get out of here in a minute. I know. I ain't got much to talk. I'm finished. To be honest, I'm finished. I really finished at about an hour, to be honest. But trucking came on. We had a great conversation. So the show kind of extended a little bit longer. But I had covered everything I wanted to talk about. To be honest with you. But that being said, man, I might do another show this week sometime or something. See if somebody else wants to come on or whatever like that, and we kind of talk. I may reach out to some people or whatever like that. Excuse me, and see what's going on because this camp and I didn't even get into the other thing I wanted to talk about. Well, I didn't want to talk about it today, but I know the whole thing about is Cam Ward the best quarterback that's come to Miami since Ken Dorsey, and so that may be something maybe something I talk about later this week, maybe Thursday or Friday or something like that. But I just want to kind of get this out the way now. OG Kane, I ain't believing nothing till I see it. No Kool Aid drinking here for real. But it's always go kind. Yo, Jay, that's what it is. Quarterback away. You right. Yep. But with that being said, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, Bird. Okay. Well, cool. Like I said, I'll figure it out. It may be Thursday or Friday. Katie said, "Can you imagine?" I tell you what, we better not. Let me write this down. We better not. 4-1-3. Y'all bear with me for 1 second. All right. I had to write some down. Y'all bear with me. Um, I don't even want to think about that if we lose the first game at the swamp. You know what? Like I said, Thursday or Friday. It might be Friday. Friday might get a little. It might be a little messy Friday. I don't know. It might be. It's the off season. We ain't got nothing else to do. We might be. But anyway, man. As always, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Y'all go subscribe to Truck and Chubby Sports Talk with Truck and Chubby, man. Go subscribe to his channel. And like I said, I'll be back Friday, man. So as always, man, like, share, subscribe, comment, and as always, it's always about the you. Peace. I'm out.